Paul. Okay.
Caught in the web.
Skirman?
And you're caught in the... Hi, that's Mark Skirman.
And that's
There we
Mark
go.
Moran.
And we're from Weird, New Jersey.
Skirman?
And you're caught in the web at
WNTI.org.
Ha ha. Can I do that too, Zach? It's the man.
Oh, my.
God.
Weird New Jersey.
Yeah. And Zach, there's Zacherly here.
Yes, exactly here.
It's the Rough Draft Radio program on this Friday afternoon, and I'm with one of my idols today, and a lot of people have been very excited about it. It's I don't know, is this the first time in 10 years that you've been on the radio, Zach? Huh?
Well, on a regular basis, I would say, yes. That's quite true.
In case you're a little young out there and you don't know, my special guest is John Zacherly. No, has anyone ever introduced you as John Zacherly?
Only my mother.
Oh, and that was on the day of, huh? Ah, boy.
That's right.
So tell me, Zach, how you been these last?
I've been pretty good. Getting older.
Getting older.
Slowly. I'm trying to do that very slowly. I mean, you can't stop the clock.
Yeah. We try though.
You can't beat the clock either.
Is that still on TV?
I hope not.
I hope not either. Bert Collier, how's he? Is he?
Bert Collier. Oh.
He's still crawling around the old boneyard by now?
I was just thinking about Bert Parks.
Bert Parks, yeah. Is he gone?
Well, I don't know where he was headed, but he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Okay. Most people.
When he left town, he didn't say which way he was going.
So Zacherly, you're out in the daylight here. That's
yes, I am.
Very rare appearance in the daylight.
I take pills. Of course, as you get older, you take pills for everything. But I'm used to it.
Yeah. Well, Zacherly's going to be with me for the better part of this hour coming up, and I'm delighted. He is one of my heroes. He is as far as I'm concerned, in New York market, a major player from the 50s, 60s, 70s. And the last time I heard you on the radio was the Halloween show of 1980 on WNEW. You were delayed coming on. I think there was some kind of event that happened and it ran over. Because I waited and waited. I said, Zach's coming on at 9, and you didn't come on until like 11 or something, right?
You were probably on Pacific time or something.
No, I was just probably very excited is probably what it was. And
yes, every year I'm on CBS FM.
Yes.
We do a little show there. They just moved now to Times Square. Used to be in the CBS building, the big black rock, as they call it.
Right.
And the man that... these guys are doing all the mergers,
Yeah.
They merge and people get dropped.
Well,
Anyway, he decided to move from the Black Rock. In fact, the Black Rock headquarters of CBS is no longer that. They're all moved out. They've left. And they're going to sell the building, make money selling the building. So they're operating now from Times Square. Very exciting. Very tall building. Look out the window, and if you want to jump, it's a good place to do it.
Yeah, especially if you're in radio. It's a good opportunity.
We got a jumper! A jumper!
Yeah, but you would fly, though. That's, I don't want to... I'd like to get to a song so that those who are familiar with you, but not particularly maybe the voice right now, might know you a little better. But let me ask you right off the bat, Zacherly, the character that you made famous, is he a vampire, a ghoul, a boneyard keeper? I never... quite could understand because I never felt threatened.
I'm not quite sure myself. When I was first asked to do this, I had been doing a cowboy show on Channel 10 in Philadelphia. Back in 56.
I was 4.
You were 4
I
years
was
old.
4.
4 years old.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you weren't against it, as long as you were for it.
No, absolutely. I always tell the story that when my brother was born in 1960, my parents said, "What shall we name the baby?" And I said, "Let's name him Zacherly." And my father was like, "What's wrong with this boy?" But you
were born just when TV was, getting going, really.
Yeah. And you guys, Becker, guys like you really didn't talk down to your kids out there, and that's something that I always appreciated, and I got right away, man. I mean, you were good for the folks, and you were good for the kids.
Well, you got to watch out for those kids, though.
Yeah.
They'll waylay you, you can't...
So
Can't
I
mess
have
around with their brains.
I have Zacherly's Dead Man's Ball here, which is a
Yes,
CD
yes.
compilation of the greatest hits of Zacherly, right? And
Well, a lot of new ones on there too that are very exciting, and it's really, I must say, it's the guy who wrote the songs, the new songs on there, like Dead Man's Ball and all that. Are the songs are really nifty. He's a kid who lives out, and no, always not a kid. Neither are you a kid anymore. I always think these people are never going to grow up,
yeah, well, we thought so too.
which is the way I feel.
Yeah.
People ask me, what are you going to do next week? I said, I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Well, I
in
do have to
life.
say, you look absolutely natural.
Well, I'm sitting down. That helps. That helps.
He looks so natural. Anyway, so what do you want to hear on this, Zach? First, what shall we play for the listeners?
Oh well, how about read me a title or two there?
Okay, how's your eyes? Good.
My eyes are fine.
I've got bad eyes, Zach.
You got bad eyes.
Bat eyes. Ha ha ha.
Well, I got little helpers.
This is the rough draft. So when I did the overnights, I used that name thinking of you that would be a perfect name for a Zacherly knockoff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dead Man's Ball. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Well, that's a great song for Halloween.
Yeah.
In fact, this whole CD is good for Halloween.
I don't care. It's Halloween every day for me
Okay.
and my friend Uncle
and of
Spooky.
course, Dinner with Drac was the old hit I had in about 19.
Oh yes.
1957.
57.
58.
Dick Clark.
Dick
Yes.
Clark, yes.
See, I did listen to that 1980 show because you were when you played it, you spoke that Dick Clark gave it a moderate rating, right? Yeah.
He thought it was great.
Yeah.
They had a connection there, the guys that run the record company, and
Yeah.
and Dick was out in West Philadelphia, and if they had they had Frankie Avalon, and did they have Frankie Avalon? No, I don't think it did. They had Bobby Rydell and Chubby Checker, and the Orlons and the Dovells, and people like that, and me.
And Zach.
Yeah. So when they make a new song, the guy'd pick up a phone and he'd say, "Hello, Dick." And Dick would say, "Hello, Bernie." He says, "I got something for you." Well, it was not, they were not financially connected, but it was a good thing because for both of them, because Dick was doing that dancing show.
Yeah.
And if Bobby Rydell made a new song and it was starting to catch on, well, he'd call him up or they'd call him. And they'd say, "Is baby is he here?" And then he'd say, "Sure, I'll send him right out." So they'd take about a 10-minute ride from one studio to his studio, his actual TV station, and they have him on the air. And that was really good to have somebody there that the kids like and see them and hear their song.
Yeah.
And they get out there and lip sync. They're crazy.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and they
How are you at lip syncing? Are you a good lip syncer?
I play a wicked air guitar. I do. Yeah, I do. So
Anyway,
let me do that.
Dinner with Drac. Dinner with Drac was a
Okay.
big hit, and the song we should play is probably, let's see here. Let's see. The werewolf bite me, I don't care. Werewolf bite me, I don't care. That little nursery rhymes we did there, and then Zach is back and all. So I think what you ought to probably play is Grave Robbing Tonight. That's a really neat song.
What number is that?
You've got it there, huh? Number 3.
Number 3 here. Yeah, so my special guest this afternoon, John Zacherly. We're just going to forget the John business, okay? He's Zach. And I'm here with Zach, and we're going to see if we can bring back the spirit of Sandy Becker, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Freeform Radio, 91.9 WNTI. We are on the World Wide Web at www.wnti.org, and we are saying hello to everybody across the world airwaves.
Oh dear. I went grave robbing just the other night in the cemetery by the pale moonlight. I bought my lamp and my digging tools and a can of disinfectant should the smell get rude. While the groundskeeper is out of sight, I'm gone grave robbing tonight. Well, I snuck in the cemetery from the rear, behind the crematory, till the coast was clear. I can't help these things I crave. The smell of earth and fresh dug graves always makes me feel alright. And I'm gone grave robbing tonight. Now the gate slams shut, I'm all alone. If the ground is soft, I'm halfway home. I'll eat up some dead man's sleep, and whatever I find I can keep. Ha-ha! I dragged that coffin up from the pit. It smelled real bad, cause it leaked a bit. When the thing inside that should be dead just smiled at me and grabbed my head. Now it wants to take a bite, cause I went grave robbing tonight. I drew my dagger out of its sheath and thrust it deep between its teeth. It gurgled out a ghastly sound and oozed brown liquid on the ground. I turned and fled with all my might, cause I'm done grave robbing tonight. I can see my house just down the lane. My legs are weak and racked with pain. If Igor's there, he'll let me in. If not, I'm afraid it's the end. Igor swung the deadbolt free. That dead man kept on chasing me. I lured the beast inside my lab and pushed it in the acid bath. It cooked up fast and tasted just right, and I went grave robbing tonight. Hey, 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 hey! Hey, Igor! I just made a batch of stew, and there's plenty left for you. Hey, 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 hey! Before it tries to run away. Hey, 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 now! If you should catch a whiff of bowels, don't forget it's nice to share. It ruins my breath, but I don't care. I have a motto I repeat. You really are just what you eat. Oh, that's lovely, lovely. You mean to tell you that was written and produced, and the music was done by two brothers, the Jilks brothers in East Quogue, Long Island. And Mike is the guy who wrote the words and all. He's a really nice guy.
I imagine they were affectionate
very
fans.
Normal person, very normal person.
Very normal people,
yeah,
like you and me.
But he likes monsters.
Yeah. You can't account for taste, right?
No.
Yeah. I mean, you think about what people like to do with, during a day and everything, and everybody's got a different take on what fun is. Here's one that I'm going to share with you right now, Zach, and the audience out there. They're familiar with it. They're saying, "Oh no, he's going to play it again." This is Poisoning. Pigeons in the Park.
Okay. Freeform 91.9 WNTI. How am I doing? Pretty good, eh?
Yeah, but tell us who you are.
www.wnti.org. That's the website if you got a little machine there. And then, of course, it's Rough Draft and Ralph Drake, Music Galleria with Cara.
Spring is here, a suffering is here. Life is Skittles and life is beer. I think the loveliest time of the year is the spring. I do, don't you? Of course you do. But there's one thing that makes spring complete for me, and makes every Sunday a treat for me. All the world seems in tune on a spring afternoon when we're poisoning pigeons in the park. Every Sunday you'll see my sweetheart and me as we poison the pigeons in the park. When they see us coming, the birdies all try and hide, but they still go for peanuts when coated with cyanide. The sun's shining bright, everything seems alright when we're poisoning pigeons in the park. We've gained notoriety and caused much anxiety in the Audubon Society with our games. They call it impiety and lack of propriety and quite a variety of unpleasant names. But it's not against any religion to want to dispose of a pigeon. So if Sunday you're free, why don't you come with me and we'll poison the pigeons in the park. and maybe we'll do in a squirrel or two while we're poisoning pigeons in the park. We'll murder them all amid laughter and merriment, except for the few we take home to experiment. My pulse will be quickening with each drop of strychnine we feed to a pigeon. It just takes a smidgen to poison a pigeon in the park.
Ralph here with Zacherly here on 91.9 WNTI. I said that we were going to go right to the music, but I wanted to share your golden voice with everybody. Why don't you tell everybody who you are, Zach?
This is Zacherly here, and years ago when you were all a lot younger, and even I was a lot younger.
Sad but true.
They used to introduce those horror movies on television late at night. I think the first station in New York where I arrived from Philadelphia. Philadelphia was had a lot of Quakers and Presbyterians, and this is up in Methodist country here, huh? Right? Yeah.
Well, actually, it's Methodist College here. It's quite a cross-section of different
Well,
believers
I
out there.
was over at New York Presbyterian Hospital not long ago, little checkups and stuff, and I realized after I went home, I said, one thing I couldn't find, one thing I didn't see, I saw a lot of sick people, but I didn't see any Presbyterians. And I don't know, is there any Methodists around here?
Well, traditionally, we do have a Methodist minister on staff here who doubles as a dean of students. So, there's that. But
are you associated with the Methodist International?
Traditionally, I believe that we are based still with the Methodists, but we are independent. I think they've been independent for quite a number of years, at least 40. 40 years.
The Methodists would consider themselves independent also.
Yes, they would, wouldn't they?
They would. Yes, they would.
Yeah. So
who was it? Who started the Methodists? Wesley?
I believe so.
Yes.
I believe so, yeah. Back in England, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. I can remember that. Yes.
Yes, you can remember that.
I knew him well.
So
I've been around a while.
I know you have.
Several lives.
Yeah. So
several lifetimes.
Well, let me ask you, the Gould, did he come out of Transylvania or?
Well, supposedly, yes. Now, you see what was going on in the days of 1956 or so. There was no Hollywood connection to TV. In fact, Hollywood was making fun of television and thinking it would never happen or would never interfere with their livelihoods out there.
Right.
And
just a passing thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And even as you and I are passing, passing parade.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
yeah.
I'm wandering here. I do a lot of that. I wander a lot these days.
I'm wandering with you, man. Go right ahead. Can I try that? Can I try that again? Let me try that again. I was trying.
So we had this cowboy show.
There you go.
They started. It was a network thing. You may have seen this. Because it was broadcast on the East Coast. It had East Coast channel network, sort of.
Yeah.
They didn't have cross-country hookups yet. Do you remember something called coaxial cable and things like that?
Yes, I do, sir.
That was one of the ways they got signals out from... But they had no real way of... everything was live on television. And the only way they could preserve anything was take a picture... A motion picture camera aimed at a television set as a show was being done.
Right.
And that was the only way they could capture that particular show.
So you got all the lines and all the flashes, right?
Yes, you did.
Yep.
And it was called kinescope.
Yes.
And eventually then, some years later, they had videotape. Very expensive, big 2-inch reels. You remember those reels?
Yeah. And they kept rewinding and recording over
them. They
right?
did.
Yes, they did.
So I was doing it live in Philadelphia, and it caught on. We had a big excitement happen there one Saturday. The boss wanted to find out how many people were watching. It's always very serious.
Oh yes.
Very
what
serious.
are the numbers?
Make some money.
We need to know the numbers.
The company. And after the cowboy show, and I played an undertaker one time on the cowboy show. This is live horses and guns and stuff.
Yeah.
Running around indoors, outdoors, and don't stop. It's all live.
Right.
Couldn't stop and do it over again. And the back of the studio was out facing woods, open area, a little stream went through it, so we could fool around, make believe. And they built a whole little town called Hubberly, Montana. Hubberly rhymes with Zacherly.
Yes. Yes.
I'm losing my voice.
Everything.
And so what happened was, about 2 years after that was over, that one show, the cowboy show, we I got a call from them, and they said, "Say, we got these movies that we just signed up. We have the rights to play them in Philadelphia."
Mm-hmm.
And they were the Shock Theater collection of Frankenstein, Dracula, and all those kind of things, Wolfman.
Yes.
And some very lesser ones, too.
Uh-huh.
And so they said, you want to be the guy that introduces these? I said, oh, sure.
Yeah.
I had no idea what they were talking about. I was a Presbyterian, and as a little kid, I was not allowed to go see horror movies.
Uh-huh.
Never saw one.
So you went off the deep end.
I went, phew,
Oh,
right off
yeah.
the deep end.
Yeah.
I saw all these movies, just like you probably did,
Yes, sir.
on a television set.
Yes, sir.
Never saw them in the theater. Never.
Well, you know, when TV picked up on it, they released a lot of those Universal movies, I noticed, because we would see Dracula in 1960, 62, you know what I mean? But, you know what I'm saying?
In a movie house.
Yeah, but it was after, Chiller Theater and the
it was
success
like
of your
a
show.
revival house or
Right.
Saturday afternoons or something.
Yep, Saturday
no,
afternoon
I never
matinees.
get in on that. By that time, I was too old to be even thinking about a horror movie. I was not
Yeah.
really interested. I was about 36 years old or so.
Uh-huh.
And suddenly I'm seeing all these movies on a little TV screen, like millions of other people who hadn't never seen them in the theater or knew nothing about them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they asked me if I do that. I said, sure. And as I say, having never seen them, the guy who was producing the show, he loved those films and he had seen them. He knew all about them. So we'd sit down in a little room and we'd look at these movies and we'd try to decide where we're going to stick the commercials.
Right.
Here I found myself doing something that nowadays I can hardly stand, is to watch a movie on TV and have a bunch of commercials interrupted.
Right.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah, but you were picking the right moment,
Drives
though.
me freaking crazy.
Yeah, but
I said, stop it.
But
do it."
Zach, you picked the right moment, though. Not
Well-
like the rest of these clowns that say, okay,
Well-
time's up, bam, right?
But in those days, the commercial was like 2 minutes. That was all of commercials.
Yes.
Now they're up to 5 minutes sometimes, and there's no limit, actually.
Uh-huh.
And you're lucky if you can remember the movie by the time it comes back on.
You're absolutely right.
Oh, that's what I was watching, huh? Oh, I'll be darned.
Uh-huh.
And so we started. You asked me if I was a vampire or whatever. I think I was just really a crazy.
Well, you were a goth guy.
That's
what they call
sort
it
of
these days,
a mad
right?
professor, a
Yeah,
crazy person.
yeah.
And if there was an experiment going on in the movie, we would pick up on that and we'd
Oh,
do
yeah.
our version of that commercial.
I used to love your Jello,
The Jello,
the shaking Jello.
the amoeba.
Oh yes. and your wife, my dear.
He could slap it, and it'd splatter all over.
Yes.
I tried to mate a couple amoebas up in New York when I had two great big amoebas. And incidentally, you find those amoebas over in the Meadowlands, over there where Jimmy Hoffa's buried.
You mean
and
over in those
Giants.
lost roads in the Meadowlands there in Secaucus? Yeah.
Back in there, it's all very swampy.
Uh-huh.
In fact, this month in National Geographic, there's a whole section on the swamps of New Jersey.
Oh.
Very
Cool.
exciting.
Gee, I have some material, some songs that deal with that, but we'll get to that. But was the ghoul Zacherly, the character, was he from Transylvania or was it Pennsylvania?
Yes, well, we picked up on Transylvania right away, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Transylvania.
And in fact,
655.
I have a letter somewhere from Transylvania University in Lexington, Kentucky, complaining about the way I was making fun of their school.
Oh, gosh.
I had no idea there was a Transylvania University in Kentucky. But it came to mind that, I realize now, because you know who used to have a Transylvania thing, and is Daniel Boone.
Uh-huh.
Daniel Boone was quite a guy, besides being wandering all over and discovering
And killing
places,
Indians and stuff.
discovering
Yeah.
places that the Indians already knew about,
yeah.
but he was the white man discoverer. And he ended up in did he end up now at the Alamo? No, somewhere. But
Yeah, well, he's gone. Yeah, he went to the Alamo. No, actually,
I
yeah,
don't
he
think
did.
he did. I don't think he did, because he actually
That's
served
right.
in the Congress
That's
too.
right. It was Crockett did
But
too.
he had
Yeah.
a company, and he called it the Transylvania Company, a trading company of some kind.
Oh.
How that happened, I don't know. Transylvania, of course, means through the woods or cruise through the woods. Pennsylvania means
Penn's
William
Woods.
Penn's woods,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. And so we picked up on that. And there's a marvelous statue on Riverside Drive in Manhattan, up around, I don't know, 110th Street or somewhere.
Right.
And it's a statue of a man named Kossuth, Kossuth, and you'll find that name around the country. Some lot of towns called named after him. He turned out to be the what they call the George Washington of Transylvania. Transylvania and the whole of Europe was run by royal.
Sure, the
houses.
Ottoman Empire and the
Gosh,
variations of
every
sure.
country had a king and all this
Sure.
stuff, and it was a terrible situation. Well, they overthrew the king in Transylvania. Transylvania does exist. It's a part of Romania right now, I believe. They keep giving it back and forth. Whoever wins the big war, they get rid of Transylvania, or whatever.
Yeah.
However they feel about it.
Yeah.
But it is there, and if you go take a trip there, it's all very peasant-oriented back in the country.
So if I said to you, let's take a trip to Transylvania, that would be redundant in the fact that the word Transylvania means trip through the woods.
Yeah.
So the word trans and the hippies who said we're going to take a trip, boy, they were
There you
hipper
go.
than they thought they were, huh? Can we go there?
Certainly.
Okay. Freeform Radio 91.9 WNTI.
Ah, lovely here, isn't it, my dear? Rain beating on the granite, the smell of the fresh dug earth and the withered flowers. Ah, it's uncanny, but I have a feeling you and I were meant to share all this. Here, take my hand. Come with me. Come with me. Come with me to Transylvania. You'll like it there. You'll look grand in Transylvania, cobwebs in your hair. We'll hear the wolves at eventide and have our coffins side by side. When we arise, we'll feel such pride to be home, to be home. You'll like the folks in Transylvania, they're just your kind. You'll feel at home among the mummies and the Frankensteins. 100 years you'll share with me, or maybe 2 or even 3. I know the way to Transylvania. Come, my dear, with me. Oh, in every way, my dear, Transylvania's the real you. Somehow life there moves at a saner pace. Not that it's dull, on the contrary, some nights it's positively festive. You'll see the werewolves changing shape, skeletons dance and creak and scrape. You'll see King Kong going ape. As a rule, he's real cool. Later on in Transylvania, when we're alone, maybe we can learn to build a monster of our own. Supporting you will not be hard. I've got a vampire union card. Oh, come with me to Transylvania. Come, my dear, with me.
You are tuned in to the Rough Draft radio program, heard here on 91.9 WNTI, www.wnti.org. We are at the Radio Voice of Centenary College, and I am pleased to be with you today, particularly because my special guest is Zacherly. I'm not going to call you John Zacherly, even though I want to give you all the respect that I can give you. Zach says he can't hear me.
No, can't hear you.
Can't hear me. Okay.
I can hear you, but I can't hear you.
You can't. Yeah. Let me see what's up.
It's all right.
I'll get to
I
it.
can hear you.
It's Gremlins here
Anyway,
in 91.9.
we're playing music right now, right?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
In the background, you hear Yola Tango.
That's all right.
Kind of spooky.
No, I don't need the earphones. It's fine.
Kind of a spooky little song in the back. You were way ahead of that goth thing, weren't you? I mean, the goth thing is popular these days.
Yeah.
We even have a kid on the station. I tried to get him to come up today because he was like my summer intern and he did a show and he does the goth thing, and in Hackettstown to do the goth thing he's very alone. He's very alone. But I call him Uncle Spooky.
He's a native here, you mean?
Yeah. So would you say hi to Uncle Spooky for me? Just hey, Uncle Spooky. Yeah, he's probably listening. So anyway, so that had an effect on everybody. Back in the day when you were on TV dressing up in goth, to walk down the street must have been quite a hoot, huh?
Oh yeah.
And I remember one time I was out in front of the Fillmore, And this hearse pulls up, and out comes Zacherly. And we're all there. I mean, all the kids are there, you know, we're like 18, 20, something like that. And everybody knew. And we didn't care about Jimmy and Janice. It was, hey!
Well, I loved that. That was great. I grew up in big band music, you know, but I found the music of 60 much more interesting and exciting, and it was political and everything going on, and it's just so different, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing about WNTI is that we tie all the music together. We think that everything is multi-generational and will appeal to everyone.
Yeah.
So the music that you played with Dick Clark, and the music that you enjoyed when you were younger growing up, and then the music that you were hip to in the 60s, it all lives here in addition to all the music that's coming out now that the gatekeepers, and you know who they are, don't you? Because you've dealt head on with those guys.
Yeah.
That they won't let out. WNTI encourages all kinds of diversity here.
Yeah.
And my guest this afternoon, John Zacherly, is with us, and he's kind of the DJ. Although, you know, I thought last night, I said, should I just like set him behind the board and let him do it? Yeah.
That's one thing I never learned how to do. I never learned how to do the board.
Yeah.
We didn't have to do that. We had engineers do that.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, when I'm trying to figure out how all this happened in my life, I came to New York and did the TV show, and I guess that lasted about 3 or 4 years. 4 years, probably.
That's
then
the
I
first
did a
one.
dancing show in Newark, New Jersey.
Right.
Because when the how did I get that? I don't know how I got involved with that.
You know what else? I remember when you were hanging out with the Mighty Hercules.
Yes, that was it. You see, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was Channel 11.
Right.
And I was doing this Mighty Hercules, and
That was
I
like
didn't really
65.
like it very much.
Right, 65 for that.
Yeah, I didn't like that Hercules too much.
Yeah.
That was a rather cheap way of...
To me, there wasn't enough Zacherly on that show.
Yeah.
You know, but
I ended up doing the horror movies. They decided I wasn't right. I met Chuck McCann there and had a lot of fun with him.
Yes, good man.
And you mentioned earlier Sandy Becker and those people.
Yes.
And Soupy Sales. I'm going to be with Soupy Sales in Ocean City, New Jersey.
What day is that?
The Doodah Parade.
What day is that, Zach?
I think it's the weekend of the 23rd of April.
Cool.
And just heard the other day that Soupy's going to be there. And so we'll have a good time. But, he's a very funny guy.
Everybody should come out and wave to Zach. Is he? You going to be limoed by or hearsed by?
I think when we see each other, we're both going to come out with the same line. Are you still alive?
Oh, gosh.
I thought you died.
Oh, gosh.
Well, anyway, the radio thing came after the dancing show died. A friend of mine said, why don't you go to NEWFM because they're changing their format.
Mm-hmm.
What had happened was, if you folks are old enough to realize, and you probably have forgotten, the music up to that time was mono.
Mm-hmm.
And then in came stereo, and the government, FCC, said, wait a minute, if you own a station, it's AM,
mm-hmm.
and now you've got it FM, you can't use the same programming. You got it. That's not good.
Yes.
That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they did.
Yep.
And so the government said, you got to get some different programming.
Mm-hmm.
So they tried a program of pretty much big band music, but not exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little more current for those days. And they had all girls, all ladies, as disc jockeys.
Yes.
And you had a picture down the hallway here.
Yes,
of a whole bunch of those ladies.
I was a fan of WNEW from the first day. Actually, I was a fan of WPLJ when it was WABC-FM in the earliest days.
There you go. And so they found out that WOR-FM was playing albums. A guy by the name of... what was his name? He's a disc jockey.
Roscoe?
Anyway, Jonathan Schwartz
Yes.
and Scott Muni and the guy who was running, and Roscoe. They all left that station because even though people were enjoying hearing all these new LPs that were coming out in stereo, and everybody's going out and buying, hey, come on to my house. Yeah. I got a brand new stereo. Sit right here. And let the speakers, blow your mind.
Yeah.
And everybody was doing that. Goodbye to the old little AM radio. Hello to stereo.
That's right.
So everybody did that. And at that time, a guy by the name of Drake.
Hey.
No relation?
Not me, but...
he had what was called the Drake format
Uh-huh.
that he was selling around the country.
Yes.
And what it amounted to was something that was not being done on FM radio. He was going to play top 40 on FM.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody done that.
Yeah, and his name's
He did
Drake.
that.
Mm.
He convinced him. So they dropped the albums.
Yes.
And NEW picked them up. And incidentally, the Drake format was so successful instantly. People
Yeah.
like to hear hits.
I understand.
Now they're hearing hits in stereo, which is even better for
Yeah.
them. And so WNEW-FM picked up the freeform radio. The disc jockeys
baton,
would choose
yes.
the music to play, and we
Yes.
play all these wonderful LPs.
Yes.
Boy, you buy an LP at a store, and you'd walk down the street. You'd take the wrapping off so people could see what you were carrying.
That's right.
Because that was really something.
That's right. There was a day, man, when you'd have like the copy of Rolling Stone magazine in your back pocket just so
Yes.
somebody'd see it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they then decided not to hang on to the ladies, and
Yeah.
I got a job. It was Sunday afternoon I was doing,
Mhm.
and I had to present my selection to the boss all the time, you know, and I thought, oh, this is a drag ahead of time, you know, but the other
Sure.
guys were playing everything they wanted. And so the thing that pushed me over the brink there in a nice direction was a concert. It used to be free concerts in the park, in
Yes.
Central Park.
I've been there many
And
times.
one weekend, the Jefferson Airplane came to town, and they're from California, you know,
Yes.
and like the Grateful Dead and all those people, and they're used to playing free concerts.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't bother them that you're in town to give a concert at the Fillmore for money.
Right.
They want to play a free concert in the park.
Sure.
So they did, and we sponsored that.
Yeah.
And I appeared there, and the minute I stepped out on the stage, you know, I said, "Oh, there,
I know.
yeah, big cheers!" And I got a full-time job the next day.
Well, I was there. I was screaming. It was Zacherly.
Did you go to the Fillmore?
Yes, I did, sir.
Oh,
Yes, I
I'm
did.
going to send you something you don't have.
What's that?
A program of the entire playlist of all the bands that played there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wonderful. I do have some programs from the film, but I don't have a.
Oh, the entire schedule.
My
It's
goodness.
amazing to read. It's
My
like,
goodness.
oh, it's wonderful.
It was just such a great thing, Zach.
Well, 3 bands every night for very little money.
Mm-hmm. And I also have to point out that even though the classic rock format had been copped by mainstream, back in those days, classic rock as it was new was not being played on the mainstream radio. It only existed on stations like WNEW.
Well, ABC, you said ABC.
ABC FM, yep.
Yeah.
WPLJ.
They tried it. In fact, I thought they were doing better than we were at one point, and I switched over there.
Well, I used to
But
listen
it
to
only
them both.
lasted about 6 months, and they went back
Yes.
to a very rigid.
That's exactly right.
format.
And I tell people that because I have friends that listened to it beyond that point, and they thought it was still a good thing then. But I say, no. There was definitely about a year and a half when ABC FM, WPLJ was doing the right thing, and then
Yeah,
and then the monsters came in, the ghouls, the money people.
That's right.
The good thing about Centenary College is, you know, about WNTI is that Centenary College supports us. So we're and the listeners support us. So we are within our rights to go just about anywhere we want to go, and that's why this is such a rare experiment. When I spoke with you on the phone, I got the same exact reaction I got from many other DJs like Vinny and Jonathan and Allison when I said, "Well, we do what you did." They say, "No, you didn't." You know? But we try.
Well, I'm sitting right here at Centenary College, and I say, no, it doesn't exist anymore except at colleges.
In colleges,
Free
that's
form.
right. Free
Yeah.
form. And Zach, as our time together is dwindling away,
Oh.
as our time on this plane of existence is, where shall we go next with your... I want to play more of your CD.
Oh, well.
Where shall we
you don't
go?
do that. I was just going to say that it's been a great life that I did a little theater work, which is what got me into the cowboy show. That's where
I sat and I was thinking about your career the other day, and I thought, he has done TV, he's done radio, you've been in movies, right?
Yeah, a little. Yeah,
Weren't you in with wasn't that Ghoulies or something you were in?
I forget the name
And,
of it.
and one day you met my daughter Michelle, right?
Yes.
Today. One day I'm sitting there with her many years ago, and we're watching Captain Kangaroo, and out of nowhere,
Oh, well, now that's interesting because one of the guys that used to direct the cowboy show had moved to New York, and he was Keeshan's favorite director.
Is that right?
Yeah, Jimmy Hirschfeld.
Is he still around, Keeshan? Bob Keeshan?
Yes, I think he is. That they tried about 2 years ago or more to have somebody replace him. It didn't work.
It
He wasn't the same.
Yeah, there's, you know.
What I liked about him, now I had no children or anything like that, and I hated people like Pinky Lee and all that. Where the audience was always screaming and screaming and screaming.
Right.
And Kangaroo was a much more laid back.
Well, he did.
I thought that was kind of nice.
But he also did not talk down to his audience, even though his audience was ideally a very young audience. I mean, very young, right? And the same with you, same with Becker. That was the thing that impressed me the most about even when I was a child, that my parents could sit there and enjoy it too. It kind of is a thing that affected me for this freeform style, because we believe with all of our hearts here at WNTI that there are parents, there are grandparents, there are children all sitting together listening to freeform radio.
Yeah, well, the thing about the horror movies is the fact that I had never seen movies and they were all new to me, and a lot of them were very low budget.
Yeah.
Not the big famous ones, Franklin, Dracula, and all that stuff. They were very well done and expensive productions. But so you say, it's like they made a mistake and they kept on going to save money on the film.
Yeah.
So we started doing takeoffs on whatever the experiment was in the movie. We would do our version of it. So why the monster died? He never should have died. He didn't do the right, didn't give him the bad injection there.
I noticed sometimes you cheer the monster on. I remember that.
Always. So I think we always approached it in a kind of a comedy approach. We were looking for laughs.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of young kids who were seeing their first horror movies appreciated that. Even their parents did.
Yes.
That we weren't trying to outscare them.
You were being.
And the movies, although they were scary and still are, some of them, it was a lot of it left to your imagination. You've heard this story a long time ago that now everything is very realistic and the blood spurts out of your eyeballs and all that stuff.
And we become desensitized.
And I really don't like looking at that, even though I know it's a special effect. The special effect people have really taken over the world.
Yes, they have.
Amazing.
But Zacherly, your music should have taken over the world. What can we play next for everybody? I'd like you to maybe set it up for us.
Well. I don't know. You could play Dinner with Drac, and I can't even. Where are my glasses?
You know what? Give it to me.
Look at these glasses. Where's the camera? Where's
let me get
the television here.
Yeah, but no. We're just. I got it backwards.
All right. Okay. There you go. These are very ancient glasses. They're about 125 years old that I found in an old aunt's belongings when she passed away. Formaldehyde. The SpiderMan lullaby. This is nighttime, huh?
Yeah.
Let's play the SpiderMan lullaby. That's a nice little thing for the children.
What track number is that, Zachy?
Oh, what number is? That's a good answer. Or good question, rather.
I love it.
Number 8.
Okay. And once again, Zacherly here on 91.9 WNTI. Freeforming with the original Freeform.
I can't do that.
You can do it fine.
Hush-a-bye, rock-a-bye, the Spider-Man is coming by to spin a web of dreams for you. Casket high, casket low, Daddy rocks you to and fro. Spider-Man will make your dreams come true. Dream about a magic land where shadows fill the night, where goblins stalk and monsters walk. What a lovely sight. If you're good, pretty soon the creature from the Black Lagoon will come and guard you while you dream away. Dream about a tiny hearse drawn by a fuzzy bat, and by your side some mummy's ride. Think how you like that. Close both eyes, that's it, son. Now just close the other one. You're such a beauty, I can only say. You're looking more like Mommy every day.
Yes, Zacherly here, 91.91. 91.9 what? 91.91?
91.9 WNTI.
Yeah, okay, NTI, you got it.
Dinner was served for three at Dracula's house by the sea. The hors d'oeuvres were fine, but I choked on my wine when I found that the main course was me. The waitress, a vampire named Perkins, was so very fond of small gherkins. While she served the tea, she ate 43 and pickled her internal workings. What a swimmer is Dracula's daughter, but her pool looks more red than an otter. The blood stains the boat, but it's easy to float, because blood is much thicker than water. The pitchforks go on the left with the scalpels. Igor, Igor. For dessert there was batwing confetti and the veins of a mummy named Betty. I first frowned upon it, but with ketchup on it, it tasted very much like spaghetti.
Where's that Dick Clark?
Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Oh, man.
That's a saxophone man.
That's a wailing band, Zachy.
Isn't he great? Listen to this sax. Listen to this.
Oh, God darn. Oh, yeah. Freeform 91.9 WNTI. Ralphie here on the Rough Draft radio program with one of my idols, Zacherly. Zacherly here. I've been waiting years to say that. Yeah.
Good night, whatever you are.
Whatever you
Well.
Is that at the end of it still? Good night, wherever you are?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
No, it isn't? Okay.
We just let go. Now, this guy who plays the sax so wonderfully there, this is a remake of the original Little 45.
Which I have.
Do you remember 45?
I have that. And I treated my 45s.
Were you any good with throwing them and catching with your finger?
No, what I would do
that
is...
was great, you know.
Yeah, what I would do is... I Did you see that? No, we didn't see that. They didn't see that. Anyway, Zacherly here.
But we did. We were very good at it in the studio. You know, we'd get bored and we'd throw the records and catch them.
I got a quick question.
Playing quoits.
I got a quick question.
Yes.
You knew Janis Joplin?
Oh, I had Thanksgiving, the Fillmore.
Yeah.
Oh, the Fillmore.
Me and you.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I didn't know her personally, but I sat right next to her one time, and when Bill Graham was kind of nice, he would give a Thanksgiving meal to everybody in his organization and whoever was in town to play and they were obviously away from home.
Yeah.
And he'd spread big Thanksgiving spread. And she was sitting. Remember, you go into Fillmore, and there was a stairway, a marble stairway, went up to the balcony.
It was a gorgeous
she
place.
She sat right there and had her Christmas. I guess it was Christmas or Thanksgiving, one or the other. And I was sitting there, and we had a little chat. That's about as close as we came.
Well,
but she was great.
I have two stories. I'm not going to go into them. One with Janice. I was at Woodstock. She's walking across the field at Yazgar's, and I go up to her. I go, wow. And she goes, yeah, man, yeah.
That sounds like
That's
very
it.
good.
That's
very
all
good.
she said. And then I ran into Jimi Hendrix, and I said, same thing. Wow, man, wow. And he said, yeah, man, dig it.
She was.
They're my two stories on those two.
They took one of the best pictures of her they ever took when she was sitting on a bicycle, a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Kind of leaning on the bar.
Made the cover of
camera.
Pearl, right?
Yeah,
The album Pearl, right?
Yeah. I met a lot of those folks. They were great.
Yeah.
They were all
Well,
great.
you knew a lot of people, not only musically, but you knew all the show hosts of the 50s and 60s on New York TV, Kiddie TV, when it was really good stuff for kids to watch.
Yep.
And you're still here. Are you planning on doing anything? I mean, I know the CD's available. Let's tell people, where can they get the CD?
Oh, well, there's a website. You have to go to the website or come to. We have a convention twice a year. Do you ever come to that?
I'm going to go. I never go, but I will go.
It's been going on for 10 years. Where have you been?
I don't go anywhere. I'm old.
It's at the Meadowlands,
Yeah.
the Sheraton Hotel at the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
And it happens the 27th of April.
Okay.
The Doodle Parade's the 23rd, I think, and the weekend after that is not the 27th. I don't know what it is.
So I'm going to have a jam-packed month that month. I'm going to go to the
Friday,
Doodle Parade.
Friday night, Saturday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people coming in from Hollywood who were in the old movies. I can't think of one of them right now. Who was I thinking of? He was such a great guy. He was in the movie, and this is the way, when you get older, this is the way it works, you know. Now, what was the movie where they had these big pods and the big seeds? They came from outer...
Little Shop of Horrors? No. But I know what you mean, the pod business, yeah.
Pods.
Yeah.
And what was his name, the guy? He's an Irish name. He shows up, and he's great.
Does Paul know?
Anyway.
Paul's very young, you know.
They have Boris Karloff's daughter comes around and says, and Bela Lugosi's son is also on the tour, and they sign autographs and so on.
Sure.
But it's a huge convention, and you should try and make it.
I'm going.
Give me a call.
I am going, and you and
I'll
I
get you in.
You and I are going to do the train from Hoboken to Port Jervis next fall too.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm ready for that.
Maybe we'll get some freeformers out there to pledge on the upcoming Begathon. Right?
Okay.
Zach, our time is running down. There's so much we have to talk about. Perhaps I'll bring my recorder out one of these days out to your palatial palace out in the west side of Manhattan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But is there anywhere, if anybody'd like to get a hold of you to express?
Well, there's a website.
Yeah.
And he has two websites. One has my name, Zacherly,
Right.
and .com.
Right.
Do you know any ladies? Dorothy Com? Is there anybody?
Dottie Com? I don't know Dottie Com.
Well, anyway, and then there's a Chiller Theater.
Right.
Website, which is the both of the websites are run by Kevin. Excuse me, I'm about to burp. But I didn't hear anything. Did you hear
No, I didn't hear it. I thought your burp would be more like a
I felt something inside, but nothing.
You just inspired me, Zach. I can't believe we're doing this.
There we
Radio
go.
guys, right?
That's a Howard Stern thing. You know.
Yeah, I guess.
He's disgusting when he does
that. We'll get into that another time.
But he's a big fan.
Yes.
Huge fan.
Yes.
He used to telephone me from some college he was going to or somewhere, high school, I don't know where it was. And I'd pick up the phone in the studio, and always people occasionally calling up and say, how do you get on the radio?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know how you get on the radio. I fell into it.
Yeah.
And I say, well, you were where are you, in college? Oh, yeah. Oh, they got a radio station there? Oh, yeah. Do you work there? Oh, yeah. I said, are you on the air? He says, oh, yeah. Oh, I said, well, do a lot of that. Do a lot of that. Do a lot of on the air stuff. And then when you get out, go to some small station somewhere and and maybe you get a job. He says, I did that. And, of course, he bounced around from little small stations, and he went to, he was in Washington, D.C. when that airplane crashed on the bridge, remember?
Right.
That dreadful thing.
Yeah.
And he was on the air that day, so immediately while he's on the air, he calls up the national airport, and he says, what's the cost of a one-way fare from the airport to the 14th Street Bridge. Bad taste.
Oh, yes.
Bad taste.
Oh, yes.
Bad taste.
That was on DC.
That brought him to New York.
DC 101. I used to go to Washington in those days when he was on DC 101. He was big. He was big.
Yeah, well, he's...
Yeah.
So anyway,
so much bigger now.
Every time I used to meet him in the hallway at K-Rock,
Yeah.
he'd say, "Oh, my hero," and he'd go through a whole thing. Nice guy, really.
Yeah,
nice guy.
yeah.
But he's into all this stuff about sex and stuff.
Well, I met him at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting many years ago.
He was there.
He came to lecture.
Ah,
Came to lecture,
okay.
and he came in and dressed as a businessman.
Did he use any dirty words?
He came in dressed as a businessman. He says, "This is what I do." And then he pulls out the ponytail and he starts being Howard. And then he puts it back on and he says, "That's what it is." He says,
That's pretty funny.
"That's exactly the truth.
That's
exactly
pretty
the truth."
funny.
This is Freeform Radio 91.9 WNTI. Howard refers to us every once in a while in the past as that lesbian school, because it used to be an all-ladies school, but it's just radio. But here we actually do what we feel is heartfelt radio, and I won't beleaguer the point because we have Zacherly with us this afternoon for another. We're just about out of time, so I think we're going to let the cool ghoul pick another song here, and then we'll come back and we'll say goodbye.
Okay. And who is Music Galleria?
Well, I'll tell you that in a minute, but just pick a song for me, okay?
Okay.
I'll talk about that in a moment.
A little short song?
Yeah.
Okay. How about... This is very hard to read. They should have made this thing easier to read.
Yeah.
Formaldehyde. Oh, I don't know about that. That's for Undertakers. Are there any Undertakers out here?
Well, how about your the title of your song, of your album?
Dead Man's Ball?
Yeah.
That's a poem. Let's hear it.
Okay, let's hear that. Here on Freeform Radio.
That's number one.
Whoops. Be right with you here on Freeform 91.9 WNTI.
Igor, fetch my raincoat, for I'm going out to play, and don't expect me home again until the break of day. From deep within the thunder that's exploding overhead come voices from the graveyard that until tonight were dead. Something's got them crawling from their cemetery plots. They've better things to do than simply lay around and rot. Although they have no pulses, they all still get around. I guess it's really true, you just can't keep a good man down. Listen as the thunder breaks the silence of the night. Lightning shrouds the graveyard in a strange demonic light, striking every tombstone as it penetrates the earth, seeking out the lifeless forms awaiting their rebirth. 6 feet underground, you start to hear the anguished cries of those below, too decomposed to crawl their way outside. Soon a wave of walking dead will heed the wake-up call in search of something juicy for this evening's Dead Man's Ball.
You know, Zach, I wanted to be Zacherly when I was a kid. and then I ran into FM radio, and I wanted to be Jonathan. And then I wanted to be Vinny, and then I found out that it was just difficult enough being Ralph.
Yeah,
So that's what we try to do here, and I'm very pleased that you're here today. I know a lot of listeners out there are very charmed to hear your voice on the airwaves again.
Well, it's grand to be here, my boy.
And maybe we'll get together again real soon, okay?
Yes, and I would like to, if there's a Methodist in the building, I'd like to shake hands.
I will take you downstairs directly to the Methodist.
It's, there's a dying breed, we're moving out to the suburbs,
Yep.
disappearing.
Yeah, just like Freeform Radio is a dying breed. Back in the day, Zacherly was one of the kings of Freeform Radio, and he was very true to the music, and the listeners always appreciated that, as he was very kind to his viewers when they were children. We grew up with you, Zach, and...
Well, it's kind of amazing, and I realize that's... I don't know anybody my own age.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Well, my Aunt Mary is your age, and...
well, I don't know your
No,
Aunt
you
Mary.
don't. No, you don't know her, but she watched you too back in those days with me.
Oh, well, good for her. Good for her.
Anyway, it's about 5 minutes before the hour, and we're going to break for the NPR News at the top of the hour. Zach is here for a moment or two more. Any final closing thoughts here, Zach?
Which way is New York?
It's a right onto Route 80, I believe.
I used to come out here a lot to Strasbourg.
Oh yeah, got friends up there?
Well, not any longer.
Actually, I have a friend over there. He's a jazz musician.
Really?
Bob DeRoe. You know Bob DeRoe?
No, I don't.
He sang for Miles Davis.
Really?
He had a song called Zacherly. And in the next segment, which you won't be here for, I will play that song. Okay? and anyway, I just want to thank you for being here this
Well,
afternoon.
it's been great, I must say. Really good. I like this little studio, too.
Well, next time we'll get into a little more conversation about the day and what you saw, and I'd like to find out who really influenced you as a broadcaster too, going back to those days. But right now it's 9. Well, I guess we're about 8 minutes away from going. So I guess I'd like to play another one of these songs if we could. We can do another one?
Sure.
What do you think would be appropriate?
Well, the very Happy Halloween Grave Robbery. Oh, play number 6.
Okay.
It's just a little bit of the old Shock Theater.
Oh, wonderful.
Audio.
Wonderful. And you all out there know that I am in my glory today, so let's dig it, man.
I, of course, shall be here tomorrow night live, conducting experiments so world-shaking that you really should go to bed now and come back tomorrow, actually. I shall be breeding my giant amoeba, or amoebae, as we call them. The Slobus amoebas, that's the actual Latin term. Never been done before. Tomorrow night here. Now, of course, if you must watch, I suppose we better get on with it. I'll explain it better tomorrow. All right, Gaspard, let's go here.
Caught in the web at www.wnti.org.
So you're going to fly out of here, huh?
Yes, I am.
You get tired?
Kids used to plug into their TV and put little alligator clips on the speakers.
Yes.
And they got really good recordings. That's what that was.
Ah.
People would record their favorite TV show on audio. There was no tape. And a lot of people have a lot of old audio tapes.
Yeah.
That's why that sounded so clear. This guy had a father who was a TV man, and he knew how to clip
To rig
in.
it, yeah.
Yeah, not just put a microphone in front of the speaker, but get behind it and get the right sound. So it was a lot of fun to have that stuff. People keep sending me these things. Hey, here's a tape of something you did on Channel 9 or whatever it was.
Yeah. What a flatter. That must be very flattering to you.
Well, it's literally fun. The best part about the convention is meeting people who come and have all these memories.
Well, I'm going to come to the next one. The thing I find the most amazing is that the tapes do not exist for the most part. Maybe one or two somewhere, but yet the memory is held so fast that all I got to do is say Zacherly, and the phone lights up.
Well, we have a tape and a video out of shows from Channel 7.
Really?
Which is ABC. Yeah. Bits and pieces and stuff, So.
I'm going to have to look for that.
Oh, we'll get that too.
And listeners out there who wanna find out about Zacherly and find out about the music that is available,
it's www.Chiller Theater, one word.
Yep.
And it's TheaterRe.
And I will go as far as to say this, that if anyone would like to get hold of Zacherly and is not on the web, give me a call and I will at least get information on how to get your CDs and memorabilia to everyone.
Very kind of you.
It's freeform radio, Zacherly. We support everybody. Okay, it's 91.9 WNTI, Radio Voice of Centenary College in Hackettstown, New Jersey, the Rough Draft Radio program with my special guest Zacherly today. And thanks a lot, Zach.
Well, you're welcome, and it's nice to be here where there are no dirty words on the radio.
Just in our minds.
Bye-bye, whatever you are. Now go have yourself a good bad dream, eh?